Hello everyone, this is Harry from Hasbro TV back from a match reaction video. Nottingham Forest 3, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Let's get straight into it. So as usual, I'm going to speak about the team lineup that Frank picked. For once there isn't much to talk about. He picked the same team that beat Brentford last week. So Gray started in midfield with Bentancur and Xavi maintained the 10 spot, which was kind of expected. I mean, Xavi, has been like the best player the past two games. Kudus on the right, Moani on the left, Richarlison up front, and our usual back four. Well, I say usual back four because Udogie is injured. Spence, Porro, Van de Ven, Romero, and of course Vicario in goal. Let's get into it. So I say most people, say a lot of our fan base sort of expected us to play a lot with the ball. I was probably one of the few who thought we wouldn't, and I think the game kind of reflected that. Forest dominated in midfield, and they very well deserved their lead. We'll get into the goals we conceded in a minute, but I just want to talk about the game on the whole. Forest definitely deserved to beat us, and the midfield is where we lost the game. Of course, also Hudson-Odoi got his goals and Sangare scored the goal at the end, but just in general, like, we didn't deserve anything out of the game. The players lacked passion, they lacked desire. We tried to do things, but for example, Kudus on the right gets the ball surrounded by three players, and this is the result, really. And yeah, it's like Forest frustrated us. They were first to every ball pretty much, and that is, I have to say, and I'm very frank in, as you know, that is on Frank, because team selection wise, and also the fact that he just didn't drill into them like this is a big game. It's almost, I don't know whether it's the complacency of the players, because complacency with Spurs in general has been a theme for a long time, even back to the Poch days, where we just thought we could go somewhere and win. Bear in mind, Forest also did beat Liverpool 3-0 earlier in the season, and they deserve to win that game as well at Anfield. On top of the fact their home form is really, really good. Even on the previous managers, obviously Dyche is quite new. And it's always going to be a tough game, but what was most alarming, at least to me, I wasn't surprised myself personally, but what was most alarming was that Forest were dominating the game. But I look back at the team selection, and I was very against this from the start, so I'm in a very small minority here. Gray should not have played. And this is not just because he made the mistake that conceded the first goal. He just should not have played. He's not ready for the Premier League. He's not strong enough. Even when he's with the ball, which is what a lot of people praise him for, I'm still to see anything special. The biggest issue we have, though, in general in that midfield is you have Gray, Sarr, who's probably going to AFCON now, and Bergvall. Plus, obviously, you have Paulinho, which I would have played with Bentancur, and that's who I really, really, really wanted to play with Bentancur, along with Xavi in the midfield three. That's the three I wanted. And there are positives and negatives to picking these players, right? So if you went with Sarr, the ball carrying would have been a lot better. If you went with Bergvall, I guess the work rate would have been better. I'm still not sure personally what Bergvall really does. Okay, he's enthusiastic. His work rate's really good, like with Sarr, but neither of them really do anything with the ball. Like, Sarr might have a shot every so often, or like a cross which goes in, of course, in the final, but the productivity is not there. I know they're both young players. Like, these three players I spoke about, Gray, Bergvall, and Sarr, they're all around their 20s, early 20s, like 21, 22, ranging from 18, right, to 21, 22. So they're all about the same age. But say these are the options Frank has, right? So say he go Paulinho or Bentancur, which is what he's been going in the past month or two, because our fans weren't happy with Paulinho and Bentancur playing together, which again, I emphasize again, that's the two I wanted to play in this game. Because away to Forest is not easy. And the midfield three of Sangare, Anderson, who's been a revelation since he's gone there and is a £100 million player now. And obviously Gibbs-White, we know the story about Gibbs-White with Spurs. Those three are just established. Sangare is a very strong player, probably the underrated one of the three. Gibbs-White, there's a reason why we wanted him. And obviously Anderson, he's probably one of the best eights I think I've seen in a long time in England. And I'd probably start from England. The way he's going with him, he's doing so well at Forest. And those three, we're going to always beat these three that picked. Gray He did the mistake for the goal. I'm also going to blame Vicario for the goal because I don't know why Vicario passed it to Gray there, but Gray he just wasn't strong enough. As I said, he's just not strong enough. He should not be playing there. And the thing is, if you're sacrificing either Palhin or Bentancur, which is what he has been doing, and you're playing one of these three, like I said, Gray, Bergvall, Sarr, you're going to lose some stability in the back. And these instances are going to happen more. I know we've been scoring more or been more attacking, which a lot of people basically called for, especially at home. But this was an away game. But as a consequence of that, you sacrifice some stability. Okay, we might be not as progressive with Palhin and Bentancur there, but you do sacrifice some defensive stability not playing both of them. And this is what cost us partly today because we just couldn't hold the midfield. Like we couldn't deal with their midfield three. I noticed they're wide players who scored, but like we were losing the ball. We just couldn't hold on to the ball. Which obviously a lot of our fans were like, you need to play the same team. But Gray was not, he shouldn't have played in this game. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know why he started him in this game. And obviously our strikers or forwards, Moani tried to do stuff, but he couldn't do anything. Richarlison was just completely useless. And the need for a striker is so paramount. But we have so many other problems that we might have to leave that this January. I just don't see us signing like a good enough striker in January to replace Richarlison. I know his level's not that high. He's kind of like a mid-table striker, which is where we are. But to sign that, a striker that's going to help us at least get back into the top 4 or 5, I don't think we're going to pick someone like that up in January. We might get like a short-term player, but I just can't see us getting something proper. And Kudus, as I mentioned before, for all his trying again, just couldn't do anything with the ball. He just couldn't, he tried, but he just couldn't do it. And, our defence, Spence, poor. I thought Porro was poor. And obviously Romero was rash as usual. Van de Ven, I didn't see him do anything wrong, but I didn't see him do anything like amazing. And he probably saved us a few times that I'm probably forgetting. But as for Vicario, the first, like I said, was partly on him. The second one was definitely on him because it was like a cross shot from Hudson-Odoi. I'm not saying, I don't think he even saw it late. Like he should have got something on it. Like it was so far out, it was a cross. Just really poor. And according to Boyle Sports, I hope I said this right, he's responsible for 72% of our goals this season. So I think a keeper is probably more paramount than a striker. I'd even argue because Vicario is just simply not good enough. He's been in the Premier League long enough now. He's not going to improve in the areas that we think he might improve. And bear in mind, I was one of those people who was prepared to give him time to try and improve in those areas. But I think the time is done now. Like I said before, I'd be tempted to play Brandon Austin in goal. I'm not sure if he's fit. Or even Kinski, but people have a lot of reservations about Kinski as well. But he's younger, so maybe he can improve with some coaching. I don't know. We have such an issue in the keeper position. Like it's just Vicario's just not good enough, and he's costing us every game now. Honestly, it's so bad. But the scoreline wasn't surprising, and kind of was. I think more the 3-0 was surprising. Like if we lost 2-1, I wouldn't be, unsurprised. But the fact we lost 3-0 is more just the manner in which we lost and the poor goals we keep conceding. But for me, we lost, from a tactical standpoint, we lost the game in midfield. And we need to go out and sign a proper senior midfielder to go in there. I mean, there is a link with Neves, who's playing in Saudi at the moment, who was at Wolves. And I'll probably take him in January. He might be our best option there. But they need to, in the summer, sacrifice Gray, Bergvall, Sarr. Not all of them, but you need to sacrifice like at least one of those 3, if not 2 of them. Because even like our bench, you've got Odobert, Tell, Johnson. I'm sure 2 of those 3 will go. Like Tell and Johnson have to go. Like I just don't see where they fit. And we just need to go out and sign some players that are going to walk into the team. Not just squad players, just players who walk into the team. Because, as I said in an earlier video, it's going to be a long winter. And come on, you Spurs.